like to welcome everyone to the KT Jones Experience. I'm your host, KT Jones. I'm here with the legendary world-renowned Trackstarz. Welcome, gentlemen.
What's going on?
All right, so today we have Ryan, we have Sean, and we have Jeremiah of Trackstarz. So welcome.
Yes, sir.
So for those of you that may not know, these guys right here have a dynamic Christian hip-hop group going on. They have a lot of different things going on with their website, their music. Just really expansive, worldwide renowned. So again, I welcome y'all to the show. And the first thing I want to start with Trackstarz is, where did you get the name? Because I know you guys came together back in college, but how did the name and everything formulate with Trackstarz?
He tells it the best. Go ahead.
Well, we came from Radio 1, 107.9, and a lot of the traditional radio shows are in something. So they're like Eminem inside the candy store, Emperor Cersei inside the kingdom. So we were thinking, well, let's think about a play on words, and we started thinking about, you know, outside, outdoors, sports, track and field.
Got it.
That's how we came up with Trackstarz, and we just was like, let's make it a little unique, put the Z at the end. Yeah.
And it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, and the original outline of the company was the Field Trackstarz, and Field was an acronym for Focused Intent to Edify Lyrical Disciples.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
And I like that because it's different, because you are a Christian hip hop group, right? And so right there, some inherent challenges, right? Obviously, you have the mainstream industry, have what you guys got going on. So just right there, what challenges have you seen to really get your name out there, what you got going on?
The mainstream industry doesn't like it. The Christian industry doesn't like it. So we're in a place where we're kind of in this zone where when we first started, the churches didn't like hip hop because they don't trust it, they don't approve of it. Mainstream industry thought it was whack. So we had to really build our own platform.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really difficult. It's getting easier now because the talent level has grown.
Right.
But when it started, it was very difficult to get going.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you because I listen to some Christian hip hop, and I can't say that I'm a pro. But over the years, I remember when it kind of first started. Yeah, the lyrical talent wasn't as much, and I know an artist I really like is Lecrae. He's awesome. In my humble opinion, and so I've seen him plus other artists and what you guys got going on clearly too grow as well. Because you have a good point that if you don't have that quality that people look and listen to, they're not gonna like you just because it's Christian, right? They want to support what's good, right? So let me ask you this: when you look at the way the mainstream industry is, and you guys are getting a bigger acceptance, will there ever be a point you can have a Christian artist as big as a Drake or Kanye, or is that maybe not even the goal?
For some people, it's not the goal. For some people, it's like, yo, well, let me get further as I can. So I think it really depends on the person in that brand. Some people would say, hey, I want to get out there so my message can be heard, just as a Future, just as a Drake, just as these other people that's out there. So I think it all depends on the person and how they feel about where they really want to go. You know what I mean? So
Lecrae has a chance.
Yeah,
he does.
So
he's the hope.
He was nominated for a Grammy this past year actually, and he went up against Kendrick. Eminem.
Yeah, he was in the regular hip hop category.
Right, exactly.
And that's the furthest any Christian hip hop artist has ever gotten.
Yeah. So
he's making strides like to get to that place where he could be that Drake, that Eminem. It'll still be hard because the message is so counterculture.
Right.
That it's hard for people to accept somebody talking about God. It's like, all right, man, leave that alone. We trying to get high, we trying to get drunk.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think it's still a hard sell, but it's getting closer.
Now, what about inside the church walls? Because I know, especially the church that I go to, you have the praise dancers a lot more. Now, 10, 15 years ago, people were like, what in the world is this?
Yeah.
Now, praise dancers are highly, praise dancers out there, the kids doing everything is great, right? So inside the church, the church, not the kids, the church, is that acceptance growing as well, or is there still a bit of a pushback?
wow. I would say that it's growing, right? But it all depends on the church. You know what I mean? Some churches are progressive, like, okay, we need to have this person come in and rap, or just come doing spoken word or whatever. So I think it depends on the church and how progressive the church is. For some churches, they're slowly but surely getting into it. Like you said, we have a group that we do, and we've been in different places, and then we have some churches where they're like, they accept it immediately, and then we have some churches where we got to do a spoken word because to get them to say, okay, this is not bad. You know what I mean?
Baby steps.
Yeah. So yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I like about what you guys do too is that on YouTube you have the mainstream artist versus the Christian artist, right? And I like it because you put it on there, you break it down. Y'all got to make sure you check it out. It's amazing the way that you do it. First of all, everything's bleeped and censored. I like that. First time I checked it out, I was like, well, what version are they playing? So that was cool, right? But what I like though is that you break down is, okay, who really brought it the most? So when you guys put that combination, what type of feedback do you get from people?
It's changed over the years. When we first did it, we were called Satanists, we were called devil worshippers, we were called all kinds of stuff. People didn't really understand why, but here's the thing. Jeremiah and I, we used to have a 4-hour show at Clark Atlanta, and we used to have to kill time. And with this day, we had nothing going on. We were just killing time. And I remember Jeremiah said, I think Canton Jones, he's going to be on Preachers of Atlanta coming up, I think Canton Jones is better than R. Kelly. And I was like, excuse me? What are you talking about? And just that challenge he gave me of, wait a minute, am I subconsciously thinking that these Christian artists can't be as good as these mainstream artists? Let's see if we could really prove that. And he proved it to me that day, like, hey, it may not be definitively, but it's close. Right. And I think we just wanted to prove to the world that you may have a bad opinion of Christian artists, but you need to look again.
Yeah, examine it line by line. Yeah, because when you take a look at something and you can really examine, is this true, is this false? Because sometimes you do come with some preconceived notions of things, right? But by studying a little bit more, you get a deeper understanding, right? So as far as what y'all have going on outside of the music, let me know what else you have as far as, because I see what you do with photography. You guys have a lot of things deeper than music.
Yeah, well, the company itself started in 2005. So when that started, the whole point of it was to improve the quality of Christian media, you know? Because at the time, like you said, it wasn't very good. It was generally whack, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I saw the problem, and it was either help or just keep making fun of it. And I decided to help. So I started by doing graphic design, websites, things like that. So we still do all of those things to kind of support what we really love to do, which is the show and the music, because it'll take a while for that to catch on. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. The graphic stuff, the branding stuff. We also have a music label. We are getting into some other areas soon as well, but we're trying to slowly take over all aspects of media one at a time.
Now let me know about, we have other artists on the label. So anybody coming out, or anybody, what's going on with the other artists you got?
That's funny. We just dropped a cat named Nate. His name is N8. He has an album out called Radiance.
Called Radiant?
Radiance, yeah, and it's phenomenal. We have this man coming out with something. We don't know the name of it yet.
Okay, Untitled.
We heard some stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's gonna be dope. We also have a collective we do called FMG. That project's been out. If you follow us and you watch YouTube, you know Misfits and Bangers is out and stuff like that. So that's the name of the album with the label part. And then we also have another gentleman named Nick Baldwin, at East Coast Southern artist.
So maybe like Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah, actually,
Virginia has its own swag.
Exactly, Virginia. We also have other artists that's part of FMG that's doing solo projects as well. Miles Austin, like a singer, rapper type deal, and then we have Rick Sincere, and he's an amazing artist. He can double time, rapper, just feeling what's going on in the culture right now. So we have those people on deck as ready. We have those people on deck already. So they're ready to come out too.
So what does 2016 hold for Trackstarz?
Wow, we have a conference we're working on. We just partnered with some new syndication networks. Ryan has been going full time in this for the last couple of months, and he got us from, we were at like 12, 13 stations to 80 something stations.
That's amazing. That's
in 3 months. So his background is radio, and he's been grinding in the radio side. His background is music, and we've been grinding in the music side. So the conference, more music, more stations. That's kind of what our mind is set on for next year, and increasing like the fashion stuff.
Okay. Now, what advice would y'all give for up and coming artists in the Christian hip hop industry? Because clearly, like you said, if things were as they were before, now it's a lot more accepted. But clearly, there's still more challenges and ways to go. So, what type of advice would y'all better offer up and coming artists?
Don't do it if you're not legit. Because people see Lecrae and they're like, oh man, all I gotta do is talk about Jesus a little bit and I can follow this easier path to success. But it's not like that, man. If you aren't legit, people will find out. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to believe what you're talking about. And if you don't, just go do what everybody else is doing. So
we have a heart for independent artists. So one of the biggest advices to them is just stay in your own lane. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to overdo everything at one time. Just stay in your lane and make sure that what you're doing is conducive to what you say you're able to do. You like, don't go out there and do something that you don't really believe in.
Exactly.
And the reason for that is because you'll fall fast.
Yeah.
And so with the independent artists that we work with, we notice that a lot of them want to get to this label mentality, but they really need to just be independent and work on what they're doing, and just be focused on making the best quality product and not necessarily just getting out there to the masses. Because if you have something good, people will take it. They'll buy it, they'll accept it. But if you just throw it out there and it's not good and you want to get in front of a lot of people, you'll get blackballed early. You don't want that.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, that's funny. Make good music. I think at the end of the day, that's the number one thing. It's we've come across a lot of people, diamonds in the rough, where we meet them and they like, man, I do music, we do music, and we listen. And sometimes you do get people that's like, okay, they probably need a little bit more help. Then sometimes you get people that's just like the guy in 8 that we met. His stuff was good, you know what I mean, and we just helped him and get him more out there. And sometimes that's what it takes sometimes. So I would say that to any Christian hip hop artist: make good music. I'm very a competitive person when it comes to that, dealing with like even the line for line thing, is because when people say, like, we just want people to say, I don't want to mess with y'all because you're Christian, not because you're whack. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to mess with y'all because I don't really believe that Christ stuff, and that's for y'all. I don't mess with it. That's fine. But if you make good music and they can't deny you, you can't say nothing. So that's what we say: make good music
and spend some money.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants stuff for free, especially as a Christian. You're like, hey man, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, let's do this thing for free. But if you want to promote your album, promote your brand, you gotta spend some money somewhere and get it going. Yeah. You need to do that, and everything isn't gonna come for free.
Yeah, you got to sow that seed in yourself and your vision of what you believe in.
Exactly.
It definitely makes sense. So where can everybody find you out? Your website, your social media, where can we find Trackstarz?
Go to trackstarz.com, Trackstarz with a Z. And you could go to Twitter at Trackstarz with a Z as well, Instagram at Trackstarz, Facebook at Trackstarz. There's only a couple that are different. YouTube is The Field Trackstarz, and SoundCloud is Trackstarz Universe. Am I missing any? And then your individual ones.
I am Jeremiah on Twitter. I am Jeremiah on Instagram as well. It's spelled Jeremaya, and I am in front of that.
Got it.
Sean David Grant, SEAN David Grant, on pretty much everything.
And at Ryan Righteous on Twitter and Instagram.
There we go. Yeah. So this is the world famous Trackstarz. I appreciate you guys coming out looking for big things back in 2016. Appreciate it. This has been the KP Jonez Experience.